So just the other day, I got a question from somebody, and they said, why is there not more money coming out for the American people when the pandemic is far from over? Here's what I can tell you. The pandemic is far from over. We are not out of this. We're not out of the woods. As far as the funding, is that going to continue? That's where we are going to be hitting this roadblock. That's where it will become a problem. Not only for the simple fact that now we have a divided Congress, we have Republicans in the House, we have Democrats in the Senate, and we have a Democratic president. That's going to make things very difficult. But we also have a debt ceiling that we have to address as well. So until that debt ceiling is addressed, I don't see additional funding coming out for COVID. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the pandemic, why it is far from over. One of the big issues lately is that China is opening back up. We know there's, whether you're going to China or coming from China, there is a lot of, spread. There's a lot of, transmission simply because of the lockdowns that have happened. Now, one thing I can tell you is that it is very difficult at this time to determine COVID, RSV, and the flu if you don't actually go and get a test. Okay? With that said, many people are tired of testing. There's something called COVID or pandemic fatigue. That is exactly what we're experiencing here in the US. We are tired of it. And for the people that are coming or traveling to China, they are tired of this as well because they had to experience lockdowns. Now, let me give you an idea of just how bad things are getting. In LA County, hospital beds are actually at the lowest availability since 2020. COVID deaths in LA County have actually surpassed the counts from last year at this time. We also know that infectious disease experts are warning that we as a nation are not taking the threat seriously enough to actually see this go away. And that's going to create a problem later on in 2023 and in other years as well. Here's the other thing. Many Americans believe that we are going backwards in terms of this pandemic. But according to health experts, they say it's not as much going backwards, but we are more so learning to live with it. Just like we do with the flu. Every single year, people would go and get the flu shot. That's fine, that's great, and hopefully it protects you against the flu. The problem is, we as a nation 100% don't go get it. And that's fine, it's your body, your choice. But at the same time, we go and get this every single year. Every single September, October, go and get the flu shot. Hopefully it helps you fight off the flu if you were to get it. All right. Well, this is what experts are saying. We are going to have to do the exact same thing in order to live with COVID. Currently, 80% of the United States population has taken at least one COVID vaccine. 99% of the entire population has either been vaccinated or infected. So in some way, there is an immunity there. But the worry now is that Americans have pandemic fatigue. This is the big worry. So it doesn't matter if there's a threat to RSV, COVID, or the flu. Millions don't want to resort to mask wearing. They don't want to be forced to isolate for any reason. They want to go and live their lives, and this is contributing to the overall problem. Now, here's what health experts are suggesting for the future. Health experts suggest that every single person should highly consider getting a COVID booster right before the winter. Obviously, it's January 7th. It is too late to go get the COVID booster now to protect you for the winter of 2020, 2021. But experts say it is never too late. You should still go get it. Okay, but for future years, this is the expectation that the pandemic technically will be over, but the COVID surge will not. This is something that we're going to have to learn to live with every single year, just like we do with the flu. Now, the problem for 2022, 2023 is pandemic fatigue. People are tired of going to get the shot. They're tired of testing. They're tired of isolating. They don't want to do any of this stuff. And so they just live their lives. This is contributing to the spread. Now, what does this mean moving forward? Well, this means we are going to have to live with major swings. In the warmer months, in the spring and the summer and early fall, we're going to have very low transmission. Experts predict that COVID is going to be very low, almost non-existent. But come the winter, we're going to have all year to forget about COVID. It's going to come back and just surge. It will spike every single winter. That's the expectation. Okay? So moving forward, experts suggest yearly vaccines. This is one of the things that they're recommending. They will also, but again, this is also going to require additional funding from the U.S. government. But that's part of the issue as well. Right now, we got a divided Congress. We have a House of Representatives that struggled for the first week. So we're going to see what they can actually do. Right now, they are trying to pull funding, though, mainly from the IRS, but they could pull funding from other sources as well. And I doubt the House of Representatives at this point is going to pass anything for additional COVID relief. But again, it could happen. My expectation moving forward is that we're at a breaking point. We will either move forward and help fund COVID and other things like that as far as fighting against it. But at the same time, and this is a big worry, that COVID was actually very beneficial or profitable for many countries. So is this really something that we want to get rid of? And this is, I know, where conspiracy theorists come in and they say, oh, it's the government. They're the ones that did it. They caused it. They planned it. They funded it. And who knows? It may be. Okay, that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is just planning for the future. How is this going to impact you? What is it going to do to your finances, your savings, your emergency fund, your main income source, your job? What can you prepare for the future? So, one thing I just want to say, this pandemic, people are saying it's over, right? It's done. But technically the pandemic is far from over. We're actually seeing a surge. I don't see this being called over until probably the spring of this year. And the only reason why I think this is going to be over is because the federal government is going to find it very difficult to keep funding for this. So because of that, they're going to end the public health emergency. Now, as soon as I get more information as to what is going on regarding the public health emergency or this pandemic, I promise I will give you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. But for now, just understand the pandemic is far from over. My expectations are that we are going to have to learn to live with this for years to come. But at the same time, many people are going to fight against this. They don't want to do it. They're fatigued. They're tired. And they will do whatever they can to not wear a mask, to not get a vaccine. And again, we'll see what happens. But for right now, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.